How are you doing? My name is Adrian John, and this is the Adrian-John Podcast, where I chat with the community, tackling topics such as business, events, fears, challenges, accomplishments, and much more in effort to inspire others. Today we have a guest, Naveii, and she's definitely got some. She's got some great stuff to talk about as far as officiating. I know that realm too much as far as being a wedding photographer at one point. That was one of the best parts that I liked, just because you have such a beautiful story being told of someone that they're officiating for you, getting marrying you, and then the second thing was the husband and wife, their vows. Those were always great to watch. There's someone was upstaging the other or not, but we're gonna go ahead and invite our guest. We're gonna invite her right on, right after the intro. Hey, how you doing, Nave?
Very good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on. It's an honor to have you on. Just I know you what you're doing and what you're offering. Being efficient. I've always had trouble talking in front of people sometimes, and I'm doing this now, and I'm just taking it step at a time. But I can only imagine all eyes are on you at one point. I mean, of course, the newlyweds, the ones that are getting married, all eyes are on them. But you have a big part of that. I mean, you're marrying them. So let me actually allow you to go into a little bit more of what you do.
Well, yes, my name is Naveii and I own the Soulmate Connection. I am a wedding officiant and I have been officiating since 2019. Everything started just as a favor that my friend asked, and then I found that I was pretty decent at it. Everybody liked it, everybody cried, and all of a sudden they were calling me. It's like, hey, I know a friend of a friend, until I was like, hey, why don't I make it a business? I'm doing it anyway. So that's how I started, and I love it. Talking about being the not the center of attention, but a very crucial part of a wedding. Um, I like to go ahead and be very personable because I mean, all eyes are on me, but it is my responsibility to make sure that the essence of the groom and the bride are shown, and also that they, the vows or the ceremony actually matches their personality and the relationship.
Awesome. That's very important too, because you know you you don't want it to be just another service that you're providing. You're just going to do, marry them. You want it to be memorable. You want it to be something that when they listen to those words, they can remember the day, the time where they were standing, looking into each other's eyes, the whole entire thing. And I think when you make it more personable, like you said, I think it's easier for them to reflect on that and reconnect to that moment. You know.
Exactly. So, and that point that you're touching, I make sure to actually say that. Even though every wedding is different, I make sure always to say, whenever you're feeling mad, whenever you're feeling like there's nothing else to do, I want you to take a look at your eyes, just like you're doing right now, and remember this exact same moment, and everything's gonna feel better, or the problem is not going to seem as big anymore. So I like that, and I like to incorporate that. Also, I, even though of course I follow the traditional wedding rituals and whatnot, I make it a point to have more of a equal role. Because I mean, personally, myself, I hate and despise that they say Mr. and Mrs. For example, my husband, Alvaro Peinado. And I was like, no, I mean, I got married too. Why are you saying their names? So I like to go ahead and just say it, the last name, or they want to be addressed as something different. Also, I like to start with the woman first, because it's always like the man goes first, or I like to go ahead and do things a little bit different, but still following the wedding rituals. And I like to be as inclusive as possible, and just as equal as possible.
That's awesome. That's perfect because I mean, I've as a wedding photographer at one point, I've seen so many different type of ceremonies, and I one thing that I saw that I absolutely loved was, I believe that what the gentleman was taking in his wife to be child, and being that it wasn't, his child, and but they made it, and obviously he's taking on that responsibility that he's going to raise the child up, but they incorporated it with like, there was like a sand where they all poured sand into like a vase or a
Hmm.
vase, you know and yeah, it was beautiful. And I remember just capturing it, and I was taking photos and videos, but at one point I was just like, oh man, I'm about to tear up here because it's typically it's a ceremony, eh, of unity and love, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's just the husband and wife. It's the children too are part of it. And I was just like, that is awesome. It was a girl. She must have felt very special to be included in that. And in some of the after pictures, you could see it in her face too that she was super happy. She gave him a big hug. She was like, "I'm so happy you're my dad now."
Ah, that's
Oh, yeah.
beautiful. Yes, and you know what? Some weddings are more emotional than others. It just depends. I mean, I have people that say, you know what, as short as possible as you want to do it, we just gonna get married. It's nothing like serious. We're gonna get married later on. We just want to be married. I was like, okay, cool. I still try to incorporate something. And other weddings, like for them to do. Well, for me to do the how they met, like a story, and a wedding of that I officiated, I actually told the story through the eyes of the groom. So I was, and there was a little things that like the bride didn't know, like, oh well, I was really nervous when I talked to you. Another one, I actually incorporated their child, but it was both of their child. So I just like kind of mentioned him. Others, there's like, okay, well, you're marrying him or her, you're also marrying the whole family, so that the decisions that you make are going to affect the whole family, hers and his. So it's just it's very, very emotional, and I love weddings. I mean, can you tell? I mean, it's because some people do it because it's a good gig. It's relatively not as time consuming, and they just do it. But I mean, I do take pride into my ceremonies. I cried one time, and it was some strangers. Now they're my good friends. Her name was Yvette, and she came in and she looked like radiant. I was like, oh my god, she looks like an angel. And I was like standing, I was like, I bet this is what the groom feels, because
Yeah.
it was so beautiful.
Mhm.
But yes, I mean, I enjoy it, and I love seeing the reactions.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I can only imagine like how many different scenarios, or like people can express love differently, and it's all beautiful in its own right. Um so this kind of you kind of fell into this as far as someone asked you, and then you volunteered to do it. And then after you did that, the first one, and you thought, "Well, I could do this." Did you ever feel nervous or scared, or anything going into the next ones, or were you just you were ready?
Well, I'm quite impulsive. The first one, it's the biggest wedding that I've done without knowing. It was a beach wedding, and it was my friend's wedding. At the end of the day, it was 70 people, and at the end of the ceremony, I didn't see that the whole balconies were full. The beach stopped whatever they were doing, and I was like, oh my god, here's like at least 500 people. Okay. So from there, the second wedding I did it wasn't until 20 the end of 2020. So it was a little bit smaller, and I was like, oh my god, how do I feel a license? So I was just studying, going over the laws, and I was like, okay, I can do this. And from there, it was really easy. So it's really easy for me to talk in public. I think it's a little bit more I get more nervous when there's like less people involved and I'm like the center of attention. But right now, no, like if it's like, okay, the bride and the groom are the center of attention, I'm just gonna go ahead and focus on the script. And when like, at the end of the day, it's like, oh my God, it's done. Okay, cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't. I think I'm working up to that. Um, have spoken in front of people here and there, and sometimes I'm feeling it. I'm on fire, and then there's sometimes where I'm just really overthinking, and my words are coming out maybe like not rolling off the tongue as they should. So hats go off to you because I mean to be able to keep your composure and just deliver your speech, the message. Because if you start fumbling, I mean, it,
And that's
it
why
gets you apart.
because if I was off script, I would be all over the place. But this is why I like to like work the ceremony script ahead of time. And things happen. I actually was officiating a wedding, and I decided to print the script instead of having it in my iPad because I'm not sure what happened. I printed it. I was about to finish, and one page was missing, and I was like,
Uh-oh.
yeah, it was the last one, and I'm like, "Oh, well." So, good thing it was like a prayer, so
Mm,
I was like, "Cool, thank you, Jesus. I can go ahead and finish it. I'm not that good, but okay." And no one noticed,
no one
really.
noticed.
But I was like, "Okay."
So,
So, yeah.
is there has there been any rare requests with maybe the speech or you officiating?
Yes, I had a strange request. Not, I mean, if we talk about the reasons, it's not as strange. But somebody inquired, and they wanted to go ahead and get married at a cemetery. So I was like, well, that's the first one. Okay, cool. And the reason being was that the bride's grandma was going to walk her down the aisle, and
Mhm.
unfortunately, the grandma passed, so they wanted to go ahead and do it in the grave. Sadly, that did not happen. I for reasons that I'm not about to disclose, the wedding was not officiated. And also, I remember another one, which what hasn't happened before, well, yet. I actually got a request of officiating a prison wedding. So I'm excited about that.
Wow, like how does that like work? Is it like
We're gonna figure
two
it
people?
out.
Is it one outside, one inside, or is it two inside? Like,
to to my understanding and to what I have seen, thank you, TikTok, is that people get married like in a room, but there's like, security guards and all that stuff. I don't know how it works in Texas, but yeah, I mean, and it's not in El Paso, it's in actually in Fort Stockton.
Fort Stockton. Okay,
So I mean, I'm excited about that one. I usually follow ups like, hey, is this going to happen still? Do you have a date? And they're like, no, we're figuring it out here and how it works. So
right.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
excited for that one.
yeah, because I guess depending on the rules or policies, laws, if you can get married while you're, in prison, you know. And I was thinking, is it someone that's not in prison with someone in prison, or is it with people that are in prison and they found love in prison? And it's like,
Oh, that would be cool.
yeah, yeah.
No, and
I
I
mean,
actually there was someone outside with someone inside as an inmate.
okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think I don't think there should be any barriers with, unity, with the unity, becoming one,
Mhm.
getting married. And that's the first time I ever heard that. It's very interesting. I will definitely be in touch still to see how that went, or because
I'm waiting
yeah.
because apparently there's like parameters or there's like
Mhm.
specific times. So I'm still following up with the lady. I'm super excited. I want to go ahead and and officiate that wedding. I
Yeah,
really do.
that'd be definitely one to you have in the books there, definitely. So, other than the officiating, what other passions or hobbies do you have?
What did I do not do? That's the better question. Well, I have been singing. I'm a professional singer. I am part of a samba band as well, Samba Alma de Fogo. It's the only samba band in El Paso and 400 miles around, surrounding areas, all that good stuff. But lately, I actually have been working on my EP. So I've been concentrating in Brazilian music and Brazilian rhythm since I have memory. And it took me at least 12 years to find the perfect person. I think that finding the person that could help me develop my EP and my songs took more time than to find my husband. So no, because with my husband was love, at first sight, and I
Right.
already knew I wanted to marry him and whatnot. But with my EP, I mean, I've been searching for years, and I finally found someone. I actually used my officiant money to fund my EP, and I actually finished the writing part. And I work with Amanda Temponi, which is a very very amazing Brazilian composer. Yeah, she's a queen. uh, and she actually just finished my songs. We collaborated on the themes and whatever we were gonna talk about, the rhythms, and now I just need to go ahead and record it, which I will do with Julio Ortega, and he's a beast too at recording, so I'm really excited.
That is awesome. I've dabbled here and there in music, and I definitely can share that appreciation for all the time and effort that goes into it, from writing to finding the right instrumentation, the beats, and then of course, putting your heart out there when you're singing. Um, when can we expect a release date on that?
You know what? I'm shooting for October or November, so I'm really working with that. Me and Julio work super fast. We go one day, the second day it was like, "Here's your song." So I like that. I am so glad I was able to find my team, and a team that actually works with me super well. And in terms of speed, in terms of music, in terms of like, I don't like this, and he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah,
So yeah, so I'm expecting it October or November. I'm shooting for that date, because I mean the music is ready. I just need to go and record. So I'm super excited.
so, are you going to release any singles before the actual album is or EP is completely
I'm not
finished?
sure yet. I want to go ahead and I'm thinking about it. I have 5 songs. I may release because the vision I have in mind for this project, it's I have 5 songs. The 5 songs are my EP, but I'm gonna go ahead and release it in Portuguese and English. I don't know if I'm going to go ahead and release the Portuguese as singles or if I'm gonna go ahead and have a 10-song EP. So I mean that's a good question. I'm gonna consider it. Gotta write it down.
I know I'm very interested. I want to be the first one that gets a song. I want to
Oh
hear it
my
and then
goodness.
talk
Yes.
about it. And then we could even promote that, or somehow just revisit this.
Yeah, of
um,
course.
as well as your business. But um, it's that is so awesome that you. I mean, what don't you do? Like you're saying, right? So
Yes,
doing music.
and go ahead.
Good. Oh, sorry.
So no, and I mean, it took me a long time to realize that you don't have to stick to one thing. um Maybe it's the culture, maybe it's our parents that didn't want to, or wanted to save us failure, or in case we didn't succeed. I was always told, well, if you're gonna be a singer, then you're not gonna be able to go to school, you're not gonna be able to earn good money, you're not gonna be able to do this. But I'm doing it. I mean, I'm a successful businesswoman, with my own business, and I also my career. I have a bachelor's in business management. I barely graduated in, well, this year in August. No, wait, when did I graduate? Yeah, August. um, I graduated from Southwest University. I work with plastic surgeons. I'm actually an advisor for plastic surgeons for a really cool website. And I do my singing, and I do uh, my wedding officiant business, and all of them correlate to what I'm doing. And it's just the environment that you surround yourself with, because my job knows that I'm working towards my music, and they're actually very supportive, and my business correlates to my music because I want to go ahead and fund my EP, and I don't want to rely on a label, and which you don't need it anymore. I mean, Bad Bunny was the um, highest paid independent artist until a few months ago, that he signed a label, I think. um,
Right.
I mean, I've toured with Sonny Latin Music's bands, and I did their merch, and I did their meet and greets. So, I mean, everything correlates if it's meant to be. And you don't have to be very famous. You don't have to be known internationally. But as long as you put passion into what you like, the doors are going to be open.
That is definitely a beautiful message for for all of us to really take in, because like you said, you don't have to be. Why would you want to be another person, with their successes? Create your own success and be you. And I think, every we all have our own success. Success means different things to different people. So um follow that dream, like you said. You're able to do it. Don't be told that you can't do it. If it's, if you think you should stick to one thing but your heart is wanting another, like, go for it. I think you did you owe it to yourself, definitely, because you don't want it. You don't want any regrets in the end, and I
Exactly. Mhm.
yeah, definitely. And with that too, any challenges that you faced?
Absolutely. I used to do, like I said, merch and meet and greets. I used to work at my friend's company. I was the only girl doing it. It is very rare for somebody to. I mean, there's girls that do merch. Even Katy Perry was a merch girl at
Right.
one point for Cupid. Cupid Chokehold, I believe. But I was doing things on my own. I was, paying money on my own. I was like downloading, or whatever the box says. I was meeting the artists, I was paying the managers, and I sometimes I did it on my own. There was a time that I actually drove 2,800 miles in a weekend, in Texas alone. So
Wow.
it's, yeah, I mean, it's no, I'm sorry, it was 1,800 miles still.
Okay. Oh, it's still a lot, but it seems like, I mean, that was something that you wanted. You were motivated to do that because, you knew where you were going to get to after that.
Exactly. And I did it mainly because a lot of people have this dream of being famous, or I'm gonna make my music, I'm gonna present it, but they don't know what it's like. And once if they do make it, and it turns out that it's a whole the scene is really, it's rough. And I see why people, rely on alcohol or drugs to keep going, because it's a very tiring life, but it's very rewarding. So I did it mainly because, okay, I want to know if I'm gonna like that environment. Because I mean, yes, I want to be a singer, but I'm here, like I only sing at bars, or I, only the people nearby know me. But once I was there, it was really hard when I had to come back, and get a normal job from 8 to 5, and
Right. Yeah.
working something that I had to get a job because, I didn't have a job anymore. It was
Right.
just temporary. It was as a contract. But I did learn a lot. I got a lot of connections, and I did it backwards. Usually, people go have their album, they record, they have this beautiful album in their hands, but what are they gonna do with it? I mean, where are they gonna take it? So I made sure to go and get my contacts, potential people, or people that can actually guide me into the right direction. So I'm pretty excited.
That's good. That's awesome that you're doing that. You're actually going after it, because some people will test the waters, and they had a passion, they had a big fire for it, and little by little it starts to go down, and it starts to pretty much where there's no more fire anymore. And I think maybe those obstacles that they faced just kind of blew the fire out. But you come across people who take that obstacles, and it's like gasoline to the fire. So then it makes you more motivated. It makes you want to go more, and you do what you need to do because, like I said before, the end result, you know what you're after. And that's awesome. I can't wait for the EP.
Me either.
I kind of want to put you on the spot to sing, but I mean, I we'll wait for another day. We'll wait for another
Yes.
day because yeah, but that is awesome because I've been down that road, and I still dabble in the music here and there. But there's just a lot of other things going on too as well, and that's something else that other people that happens too. They get sidetracked, but to
And
see that
that's
you're doing
okay.
everything, yeah, yeah, and to see what
That.
you're doing, you're putting back into what you wanted to do in the beginning,
Mhm.
your music. That's that speaks volumes, and
Exactly. And it's music itself, and I didn't know. I actually took a management course. Either it was tour management, personal management, and crew management, with the managers of Mon Laferte. And it was, I mean, they're people that he's working with. A lot of people, I don't remember. But they actually taught us how, like, within music, there's your artist, there's your manager, and there's a whole lot of the roots. There is, crew management, tour management, the roadies, the technicians, the technicians of the technicians. And there's a lot to go, but you just need to be informed. And people don't know that, and I didn't know that. Um I actually didn't know I wanted to go into business until I got into that job. I asked my boss and said, "Hey, well, what did you study?" Like, because he was like, "Oh, well, I went to college, and when I was in college," and I was like, "Well, wait, what? I thought you didn't. What did you go for?" And he's like, "I actually studied music business and publishing," and I was like, "That's a thing." Like, I that's when I was like, okay, I want to do business. Like, I want to do business management, and I want to do music business, because I mean, I want to work in music. um I try to find a school. There's no schools here. There's a curriculum in UTEP for commercial music, but I really didn't like the curriculum. It was mostly like fine arts rather than business. So my next my next choice was just business management and get my certification in music business. And then I thought about doing my master's degree in music management or music entertainment. But I don't feel like spending $36,000 yet, so I'm gonna wait
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. So, is there any chance that one day we will see you officiate, and then sing as the to the entertainment?
I guess. I mean, no one has asked me to, but people they're like, "Well, why don't you sing while you're officiating?" And I'm like, yes, I could, but sometimes like the brides want something different, or if they want to go ahead and I actually, when it comes to the wedding business, somebody told me, hey, you're really good at planning, so you want to plan my daughter's quinceañera? And at first I was like, I don't do that. And she's like, oh, sorry, it's because it said event planner. And I was like, oh, yeah, it says right there. Okay, cool. I'll do it. And I'm planning a quinceañera, and I'm doing more of a personal assistant and finding everything and making sure more of the clerical job, rather than the assembly and all that stuff. And I
Mm.
mean, that's another thing that I discovered about myself. So I'm an event planner apparently too. No, but I'm having
Awesome.
a lot of fun. It's
That's good.
been yeah, it's been super cool, especially when I'm my own boss and I get to do whatever I want, of course, with I mean whoever hires me at discretion. But I really
Yeah.
like it, and I like where an environment where I can go ahead and just build myself and do my own schedule and do my own thing.
I see, definitely. Well, we are about to hit that time. I wanted to ask if you had any um, ways people can contact you about your officiating service,
Of
whether it's
course.
website, phone numbers, or
Yes, you can actually find me on Facebook under the Soulmate Connection. You can find me on Instagram. I only have one post, but you can find me there under the at the Soulmate Connection, as well as TikTok. So if you want to go ahead and add me to my personal Facebook as well, I share a lot of memes. I don't care. You can find me under Naveii Delgado Peinado, and yeah, that's pretty much it. My social media for whatever else I'm doing, singing and percussions and whatever, is at Naveii underscore. That's how everybody can find me.
awesome, awesome. Well, it was a pleasure having you on. I look forward to your EP coming out, and maybe one day I look forward to you officiating and singing. That would be
Oh
so.
my goodness.
I'm gonna be there wherever that's at.
Yes.
Wherever that is, I will be there. Yeah.
Yes,
So
I'm looking forward to that. So if somebody wants me to sing and get married, just hit me up. I'll go ahead and do it.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and put you right in the back area, and then
Perfect.
I'm gonna change something real quick, and then I'll close it out.
Got it.
Thank you. Here we go. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. It was a pleasure speaking with Neve. If you are planning on getting wed, married, tying the knot, eloping, give her a call. And who knows? Maybe, just maybe, she may sing. But don't say I said that, okay? Thank you very much for joining. Have a great day.